Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Black Hat preview. Chuck Harold, SecurityGuardRadio.com and ASISTV.com. We're going to talk to Nadir Israel of Armas.com, ARMIS.com for my podcast listeners. They're going to be at booth 1503 at Black Hat. Nadir, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chuck. Thanks for having me.
Now, tell us what Armas has going on. I think we interviewed you guys last year, and just give us an update about what you'll be focusing on at Black Hat.
Of course. So Armas has become quite the solution for large enterprises, small companies, for basically what it's always done: discovery of every device, everything from IoT to unmanaged devices in general, to pretty much how their entire environment looks like, and understanding the risks that these devices pose to the enterprise environment. The first step is visibility into everything. The second step is securing it all and locking everything down. And since we've spoken last, I think some of the largest organizations in the world have become Armas clients, and we're very, very happy to kind of share our view on the security of smart devices and connected devices in general. And that's kind of where we are right now.
That's fantastic. Congratulations on your success. I will say that smart devices, to me, is an oxymoron. All right? They're not so smart if they let you into my network.
Absolutely. And I think to your point, if you're thinking of adopting a smart TV or a smart refrigerator in your home, that's kind of a consumer decision. But really, most companies are faced with an epidemic, if you will, of connected devices. And you're right, they're usually not very smart. They're just very well connected. And I would say that part of the problem is that the high rate of adoption of connected devices comes about because everyday devices are becoming smart. You used to have pretty dumb devices all around organizations, and suddenly everything is network connected, everything is cloud connected. And this is a very, very real threat. I mean, we've seen anything from organizations that had an entire manufacturing floor taken out by ransomware, where patient zero was a digital microscope running Windows. They didn't even know it was running Windows.
Wow.
Yeah. And anything from recent research that Armas has written about July 20th, actually, not too long ago, about the effects of something called DNS rebinding on organizations. Basically, IoT devices creating these kind of tiny windows into organization networks, completely sidestepping firewalls and other security mechanisms. The fact is, these devices are getting adopted at a very fast rate. People are bringing them in from outside. The organization itself is trying to get smarter. I mean, think about things like digital transformation, making smart meeting rooms, or any retail use case where you would see smart trucks and smart refrigerators and smart safes. And all these things are meant to make all of our lives and the enterprise's lives better and more efficient, but are creating an enormous risk surface that we address.
Well, we had that, I think it was a Siri exploit, or it might have been an Amazon exploit, where if you record a command in a high frequency that only dogs can hear and say, okay, Siri, do this, and you play it, it'll activate that device or on your phone, and you can make somebody's phone a listening microphone. They can go to a meeting, you can hear the whole thing. This is serious stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will say that there are these amazing ways in which devices expose us that aren't the traditional sense. I mean, usually security organizations are used to thinking of it in the terms of, is it on my network or is it not on my network? But you just named it. An Amazon Echo is in fact potentially a listening device. I mean, it's just a computer like any other device. It runs software. That software can be manipulated even through high frequency signals that the human ear can't hear. And you're absolutely right. If an Amazon Echo becomes a listening device, it doesn't matter what network it's connected to. If it's sitting in the CEO's office, and in fact, this has become a really popular thing to have in VP offices and CEO offices, then you have a problem. Most organizations can't even tell you or tell themselves how many potential listening devices that can be compromised are even spread out throughout the organization. Think smart TVs, think Echoes, think phones or VoIPs or tablets or any number of devices that can be used exactly like what you just described in very threatening ways.
Here's what I don't get. And I just had somebody tell me this the other day. Somebody actually told me, when I make a device, and I create the software for it and I put it on the market, the security is not my problem. That's your problem to secure the device after it comes on the network. And it used to be that, people tried to build some kind of security into these things, but if the argument is time to market and I got to get the product out and sell it, I get that as a business decision. It's making us a lot unsafer. Are you finding the Internet of Things devices are less secure than they were 3 or 4 years ago?
I think you're spot on in the sense of what are the priorities of a device manufacturer. It's not that they don't care about security. In fact, there are some things that are making their way into devices, not so much for security reasons, but I'll give you an example. Auto updates. Auto update features on devices, the fact that they get patches automatically, it's very, very good for security. Patches make their way much faster into the market. But the reason the organizations or the manufacturers of these devices do that isn't because of security. They do it because that's also a very good way to push new features out to clients and not have them download all kinds of things themselves. Let me answer your broader question. Until consumers demand from device manufacturers a better level of security, there is no reason for manufacturers to take ownership or take charge of this type of thing. The reason I say that is that in general, think about the best maybe example I can give is cars. Cars didn't always have security ratings. Security ratings like seat belts or airbags or anything like that. At some point, people became conscious of just how dangerous cars can be, and a combination of regulation and people just demanding a high level of security for cars drove manufacturers to create better cars, more secure cars. Today, it's become. You still hear me?
Oh yeah.
I cut off again.
Go ahead. No, you're good. Today it's become a set fact where clients who buy cars, consumers who buy cars, they look at the car security rating, and nothing below a 5-star rating is acceptable. At some point, it's only logical that this type of thing would happen for consumer devices as well, as attacks become more prevalent. And mentioning the example you gave before with a smart refrigerator, think about it this way. Right now, up until now, there wasn't a whole lot of incentive for someone to attack you in your home. But think about a situation where you wake up in the morning and your refrigerator is taken over by ransomware and someone is demanding $20 for you to get your refrigerator back and get all the products within refrigerated again. Or think about someone taking over your car and asking you for $100 to turn it on. This is something that is very likely to happen given the level of security right now that these types of devices have. Well, I think it's an inevitability, but here's what I am concerned about. When people demanded to put seatbelts in cars, and let's say they took 10 years and it got it done, that's correctable, right? Only good things happen going forward. My concern is that if we don't make these demands now and fix this now, all these old devices are going to be on the internet. They're going to be connected. You can't go out and remove 1 billion devices and fix them. And once the people are into those devices, they're in. They might be sitting there for 5 or 10 years doing nothing, and then all of a sudden come up and do something about it. I think there needs to be some kind of, I don't like to use the word legislation because I'm not that sort of guy, but there's got to be some kind of really serious change in this approach, or we could be sitting on some giant sleeper cell that one day wakes up and turns everything off all at once, and then we got a problem. That's a real possibility.
That is very, very true. And in fact, again, I would say that the implications for businesses and organizations worldwide are immense. You hit it right on the spot. The fact is, devices could be made into sleeper cells, just like you said right now. They can act at a time and place where the attacker actually wants them to be. And I think the best example of that is actually the fact that even as far as almost 2 years back, millions of devices were taken over into the Mirai botnet and used to attack other websites. And if you think about it, what this proves is just how easy it is to get into devices and own them and use them to do anything really. And the fact is, the ways to get in and the ways to kind of leave that type of malware or trap on devices, on networks, is becoming increasingly easier because of just the explosion of connected devices and the amount of vulnerability that get found every day.
Well, I think about the devices for the Internet of Things as, let's see, a potential swarm, right? For lack of a better term, right? It's like a billion drones that don't move; they're just static. And if you had 1 billion devices all of a sudden do the same thing all at once, whatever that is, right? Because I'm not quite that big an evil genius, but whatever that thing would be, I mean, you could shut down a lot of stuff. This could threaten people's lives. What if they commandeered all the medical devices worldwide, and at one time all the medical devices got turned off? How many people would die? Right? I mean, this is a real thing, and I don't get why people aren't more nervous about it.
Well, it's one of those things where I think, and it's funny because, like you said, it's not even a matter of waiting for some big event to happen. Multiple large events have happened. In many cases, devices were compromised. What you described around medical devices getting compromised, that has happened in large scale, in small scale, in targeted attacks, and attacks of opportunity. This all happened. And still, I think that by and large, you're right. Organizations and manufacturers and consumers are still not really aware of just how potentially explosive all of this is. And I would say that one approach is to absolutely wait for regulation or legislation to force the hand of manufacturers to make things more secure. And even then, you could argue how well will that work? But true. The other side of it is just people, consumers, organizations should take charge and be able to protect their environments themselves until such a time where that happens.
I agree 100%. Mr. Nadir Israel of Armas.com, ARMIS.com. They're going to be at booth 1503 at Black Hat. Stop by and check them out. Smartest guys in the room. That's what I think. This is a serious problem, and it looks like Armas has a good solution for it. Nadir, stop by the press room and see me if you can. If you got some time, see if we can squeeze you in for another interview, okay?
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on Security Guy
Thank you very
TV
much.
and ASIS TV at Black Hat 2018.
Thanks, Chuck. Bye.